My wife, man, she totally changed after we got hitched. It was like, why bother cleaning when I've got you? She'd giggle from the couch. I never said a word, just started keeping a record of it all. When I finally filed for divorce, her family about flipped out. They couldn't believe a 32-year-old guy was getting a divorce. I never planned on putting this stuff online, but I needed to get it all down. I met Chloe, she was 30, 4 years back. She was so much fun, full of life. We hit it off immediately. We dated for 2 years. Her apartment? Usually okay, sometimes a little messy, but I figured we just had different ways of doing things. We talked marriage, sharing our lives, the whole shebang. I fell for it hook, line, and sinker. We got married 2 years ago. It wasn't like she turned into a slob overnight, but it got way worse fast after the wedding. Dirty dishes went from soaking to just rotting. Laundry piles, they became permanent fixtures in our bedroom, clean, dirty, all mixed up. Spills, they just sat there. Her side of the bed was a disaster area, candy wrappers, tissues, clothes everywhere. I ended up cleaning up most of the mess. I figured it was just us adjusting to being married. I tried talking to her nicely, Hey, need a hand with the dishes? Or let's tackle that mountain of laundry. But she just brushed me off. She'd say she was tired or that I was better at it than her. Then came the moment that really broke me. Maybe 7 or 8 months into the marriage, I came home completely exhausted. The kitchen looked like a college party exploded in there. Chloe was on the couch, glued to her phone. I let out a sigh, probably a little too loud. I said, seriously, can you please help with this? It's disgusting. She looked up, all annoyed. Then that little laugh, it was starting to really get on my nerves. Why bother, she said. It's not going anywhere. Besides, why clean when I have you? That wink, like I was some kind of servant. It just broke me, the total disrespect. Like my time meant absolutely nothing. Turns out that whole partnership thing was a joke. I didn't even bother arguing, just cleaned the kitchen again. But that night I started thinking, what if this never ends? What if I need to prove all this? So I grabbed my phone and snapped a picture, the trash, the dishes I'd just done, that mountain of laundry, got the timestamp. It became this weird habit, not because I was sure we were getting divorced, but to keep it real. To have proof, in case things got worse, So I started taking photos every few days. Moldy food, that disgusting bathroom sink, sticky floors, even short videos of the mess or of her just waving me off. Stop nagging, she'd say. Just leave it. I kept cleaning. She kept not contributing, nothing. And the resentment, man, it just simmered under the surface. I wasn't just her husband. I was her unpaid maid and her ATM. The woman I married? Gone, replaced by some entitled stranger who was perfectly happy living in a pigsty, expecting me to clean it all up. After almost a year and a half of this, documenting everything, I knew it wasn't going to change. She was cool with it. I wasn't, so I called a lawyer. Ms. Evans found her a little temporary apartment today. Chloe got served. Her reaction, complete and utter shock, tears, she was furious. Like she honestly believed there wouldn't be any consequences. I'm wiped out. Sad about what we could have been, but mostly relieved. Her family thinks she's a saint. They have no clue. This next chapter, gonna be a wild ride. This whole entitlement tour started about 3 weeks ago. The explosion I'd been expecting finally happened. Chloe's voicemails were a total shock, all tears and furious accusations about how I'd wrecked everything. I just didn't answer them. Then her parents, Brenda and Gary, jumped in. I took Gary's call, figuring maybe we could talk things through like adults. Nope. He started with, Mark, what's going on here? Brenda's beside herself and Chloe's devastated. Gary went on about marriage being hard work. I kept my cool but told him, this isn't about hard work, Gary. It's been a total lack of respect in any real partnership for almost 2 years. I've tried talking to her about it. Brenda grabbed the phone. Don't you dare lecture us, she yelled. You're abandoning my daughter. She's sensitive. You need to be more supportive. Sensitive? I said, seriously. I told Brenda to talk to my lawyer, Ms. Evans, and hung up. She called back a bunch of times, but I ignored her. Chloe moved in with her parents last weekend, leaving behind a total disaster of a house. Trash everywhere, stuff she didn't want, boxes half-packed. It took a dumpster and 2 whole days to clean up the mess. It felt like a really symbolic act. Then her lawyer's demands showed up. She wanted a huge chunk of spousal support to keep her lifestyle, half the savings, mostly mine. And even the pre-nuptial agreement and legal fees I paid. The nerve! I met with Ms. Evans and showed her some evidence, maybe 20 photos from the past 18 months, plus a short video clip of the living room looking like a bomb went off. Ms. Evans just nodded. She said, this gives us some really important context, Mark, especially when it comes to fighting those alimony claims. Chloe's telling everyone I'm a controlling, obsessive neat freak. Her sister Megan, she's 26, is already posting cryptic stuff online about toxic relationships. Her parents are downplaying the whole thing, telling people it was just a normal, messy house and that I'm overreacting. They always said I wasn't neat. They just figured it was my fault, my high standards. Mediation was next on the list, and I knew it was gonna be a Chloe fest. They figured they could strong-arm me into paying for her life. Time to set things straight. Okay, so about a week ago, mediation happened. It was a total train wreck, just like I figured. Chloe and her lawyer, they really played up the whole poor victim card. It totally blindsided me. I was a mess. I needed someone to lean on. Working was impossible. I was so shaken up. She demanded alimony, a chunk of my money, and even her legal fees. My lawyer, Ms. Evans, stayed cool as a cucumber. She pointed out it was a short marriage. Chloe was perfectly capable of working, and there was zero evidence of any partnership on my part. Then the house thing came up. Mark's lawyer, this guy Mark, he's super picky about stuff. Chloe, her voice all shaky, said she tried, but nothing was ever good enough. She mumbled something about feeling overwhelmed, stressed, maybe even depressed. She made it sound like my being upset about the mess was the whole problem. She'd mentioned feeling overwhelmed before, but she never got any help or ever said it kept her from functioning. Now, suddenly, it's a massive mental breakdown caused by me wanting a clean house. Evans just calmly pointed out that Mark had encouraged her to get help if she needed it, but she refused. She said feeling overwhelmed doesn't excuse not doing anything for 18 months. Mark had pictures documenting everything. Chloe laughed, calling the pictures creepy and saying it proved how controlling I was. They acted like showing the photos was some huge revelation. It was easy to see through their game. They have no clue about all the stuff going on behind the scenes. Megan's constant jabs online, friends texting me, worried messages based on Chloe's twisted story, it's never ending. Even after mediation, Brenda tried another guilt trip. She just kept saying, "Mark, be fair. Think about the stress she's under." I told her to go speak with Ms. Evans. Those two are really stuck in their ways, all about feeling sorry for themselves. They believe if they just pretend the facts aren't there, they'll vanish. Ms. Evans is putting together all the proof for the hearing that's coming up. They didn't pay any attention to the warning signs. Big trouble is brewing. Just a heads up. The court hearing was yesterday for temporary orders. This was the big day for the spousal support stuff. Chloe's lawyer made me sound like a jerk, totally obsessed and hard to deal with. Poor Chloe, right? The perfect wife who couldn't possibly meet the demands. She needs a huge payout. Chloe played the part, seemed so delicate. Brenda and Gary were just glaring at me from the courtroom seats. And then Ms. Evans got up. Cool as a cucumber, everything in order. She took their story apart little by little. Then she said, "Your Honor, concerning the spousal support request, the lifestyle and contributions need some perspective." She pulled out this huge binder, not a little one, and it spanned a year and a half. She just said calmly, "My client documented all this after trying to discuss it, but it was ignored." This wasn't about different standards. It was about not being clean. "We have over 300 photos with timestamps and 15 short video clips." Chloe's lawyer jumped up, objected, saying it was over the top. The judge said no. Ms. Evans described the evidence with no emotions. Exhibit A, the spoiled food bringing in bugs. Exhibit B, the trash overflowing, spills left for days. Exhibit C, the bathrooms, constantly disgusting with mold and all sorts of nasty stuff. She asked to play 30 seconds of sound from one video. The judge said okay. So there I was in the courtroom, my voice just totally drained as I asked Chloe, who was clearly glued to the TV, to just put the dishes in the dishwasher. Her response, crystal clear and loud too, "Stop nagging, you'll do it later anyway. What's the big deal?" Then her laugh and then dead silence. Chloe went totally pale. Her lawyer looked like he'd been hit by a truck. Brenda gasped. Gary just stared straight ahead. Ms. Evans pointed out that Chloe's main contribution, well, it was making a total mess, something I was always cleaning up. She also refused to be a partner. The claim for a big payout based on all that was just not gonna fly. Financial records, cleaning bills, everything was shown. The judge flipped through the binder, gave Chloe a quick look, and then decided on minimal, short-term alimony, only if she actually looked for a job. No legal fees for me. Message delivered. The hallway after was total mayhem. Chloe was losing it at her lawyer. Brenda came right up to me, totally furious. "How could you?" she yelled. "Documenting everything, you set her up, you humiliated her, betrayal." I looked her right in the eye. "No, Brenda, this is what happens when Chloe betrayed us." She refused to be a partner. She laughed at simple requests. She made the mess. I just stopped cleaning it up and showed everyone the truth she was ignoring. She humiliated herself. Megan's online rant later was apparently epic, but I blocked it. They thought they could ignore reality. Well, reality came with proof. Just a quick update about 6 months later to wrap this whole mess up. The divorce was finalized a couple of months ago. After seeing the evidence, Chloe's side folded pretty fast to avoid a trial. We finally came to an agreement. The final details were pretty much what the temporary orders said. I'd pay hardly any alimony, which was good. She covered her own legal fees. We split everything up, taking into account what I brought to the marriage and how little she contributed. She took her personal things and a tiny bit of our shared money. The paperwork wasn't about getting back at her. It was just the truth, plain and simple, against her sense of being owed. The fallout was just the natural consequence of her own decisions once I stopped covering for her. I wonder what Chloe's up to, still living at home, I guess. Jumps from one part-time job to another, always moaning. Brenda still backs her up. Gary's keeping quiet. Megan throws little insults online every now and then. No apologies, no taking responsibility. They'll always think I'm the bad guy for not keeping on cleaning up her mess forever for both of us. Things are calm now, peaceful, really peaceful. My place is spotless. It's a huge relief not dealing with all the anger or walking into a pigsty every day. Maybe I missed the early warning signs, just completely charmed. Lesson learned for sure. I'm not even dating yet, just enjoying the peace and quiet. Work, my friends, and relaxing nights. No big dramatic ending, just the quiet satisfaction of getting my life back and seeing reality actually prevail over her manipulation. She wanted a live in Maid, and that wasn't going to happen. Thanks for listening. I needed to get that off my chest.